Welcome to the first episode of the Cosmic Man podcast. I'm your host. My name is Zach Moore. I'm a father, a husband, and a business owner, and an Orthodox Christian. I uh, am also a recovering alcoholic, almost nearly 5 years sober. Um, and really, so the reason for this podcast is well, it's not really structured in any systematic way. There's a lot of things in the world that um, I'm interested in, and I just hope to offer a different perspective and really a word of encouragement for so many of us who are struggling to make sense of the world, to understand God more deeply, and to really take current events and hopefully put them in perspective. Other things that will be on the podcast and things that I hope to talk about are, obviously Orthodox Christianity, Christianity in general, philosophy, current events, political components in the U.S. and foreign affairs, history, science, parenting, being a husband and a father, family life, financial aspects, martial arts and physical health, and mental health. All these things are just things that I find interesting, and even really, as I said just a minute ago, it's um, I am a husband and a father and an Orthodox Christian, and so that's what I know and kind of where I'm coming from with a lot of these things. Um, and I also love movies and film and just TV. Probably too much, but hopefully can talk about some of those things and some of the themes and some of the movies and TV shows that we watch to see kind of how we can reconcile those things or things that we just need to be on the lookout for. And so obviously there's a huge list of interests. There's not really a systematic outline. I don't plan on, looking through a systematic theology and just one thing at a time and everything just about that. Just hopefully a little broader than that for everybody and things that I just enjoy talking about. Um, I am obviously unapologetically an Eastern Orthodox Christian, and the perspectives will be from that perspective. But I also hope to have differing opinions and views on here from other people that may or may not agree with me, to bounce ideas off of and have conversation and dialogue. At the end of the day, there are core beliefs I have about all of those above topics and the way in which I approach them. One of those things are all things to the glory of God and the Trinity. Two, the kingdom of heaven is at hand now and not some far off idea for after we die. It's not, hey, somebody passed away and they're gone, or God is far away, not concerned with us here. This our reality on the earth that we live in now is that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and so we can treat one another that way. And because the kingdom of heaven is at hand, all of our brothers and sisters, regardless of race, ethnicity, sex, gender identity, religion, socioeconomic background, etc., deserve our love, respect, and care. We live not as an isolated person, but as part of Cosmic Man, hence the podcast name, which in a very short form is the idea that I can only be well if my neighbor is well. We can only be well as a people if all the people in our community are well. So if someone is unwell, and they deserve our prayer, empathy, and concern. A beautiful illustration I heard in a sermon from a seminarian is, he just was struggling and schoolwork. And so one of his brother monks at the seminary came up to him and just said, are you well? If you're not well, we can't be well as a community. And that level of concern just struck me. And since that, I have just been, I guess, enthralled with that idea because I think it, on so many levels, is so important. And so, Deacon Paisios, if you're listening, that's from you. So thank you. Appreciate you. Another thing that, I believe is that some things are just simply not that serious and we can laugh at ourselves. I find this particularly true in my home life as a husband and father, and I hope to share some of those stories with you. There's a lot of things that I do that, I just, I'm like, well, you big dummy, and just kind of move on. And so, yeah, just hope to share some of those stories and some of the things that I've heard as well. And also, the podcast is not meant to bash other people or, quote unquote, own them. I hope to encourage at least one person with the podcast. And if only one person is encouraged, I'll count this podcast as a success. I am not a PhD in any field, I have no advanced degrees, and I don't count myself really as an expert in any field except for that which, as a business owner and insurance and financial industry, that's probably the field I'm most equipped to answer questions in. But first and foremost, I count myself as a sinner who's had really tough times in my life, and at the end of the day has been redeemed from a world of hurt that I've mostly brought on myself. And I hope to lift up others up through sharing experience of strength and hope. And finally, we can all disagree and still be friends or family. Um, Whether or not people agree or disagree with us or agree with me doesn't change or radically affect the way that I should have care and concern for those people. Um, Regardless of what you believe or how you act, there is a fundamental truth and the reality of the kingdom of heaven being at hand. And if we're going to live the idea of cosmic man out, then that is not restricted to people who agree with us, who look like us, and who think like us. Um, and so, with all that, as while I am obviously coming from a perspective, I don't intend for any of this to be an owning of a certain position or to make people um, to disrespect people and ideas. Just really just to share what I've learned through experience and the experience of others, and something that hopefully helps everybody else too. So, with that, we'll just kind of jump into the first part I just wanted to share with people, and that is that I was talking to my father the other day, and he was sharing that he was recently praying and just had a thought come to mind. Be like Callum. So, for a background, Callum is my 5-year-old son. And one thing about Callum is that he likes to wake up extremely early. I think it's extremely early, but usually it's around 6 a.m. and sometimes earlier, 4:30, 5 o'clock. I try to wake up early. I do jujitsu sometimes at 6 o'clock in the morning, which means I got to wake up at 5, which means my alarm clock starts going off at 4:45. Sometimes I don't wake up early enough, and so I'll sleep in, um, and I'm very busy. So sometimes Cal is up before me. And with that, there's a couple things about Callum's early rising that I just want to point out and reflect on. And the first thing is that he wakes up excited every single morning. Um, I usually wake up begrudgingly and definitely not like Callum. He wakes up every single morning with a smile on his face and he's just ready to go. I'm like, I just wish I were more like Callum with that. Um, he wakes up with gratitude from the moment he gets out of bed. He's thankful that he has another day, whether or not he articulates that. He just wakes up happy. And how often I do not wake up that way. And Callum just does. He just wakes up 4:30, 5 o'clock. Hey, ready to go. Thanks. Ready to go. I'm happy. I want to go play. I want to wake up and go do something. He wants to go play with Legos maybe in the morning. He wants to create. Um, all the things that I definitely don't want to do, Cal is ready to go immediately. Another thing is Callum, when he wakes up, the first place he goes is to my side of the bed. Now, usually that scares the ever loving crap right out of me because I wake up with a little nose touching my face at some unnecessarily early hour. But the first place Callum wants to go is my side of the bed. He wants me and he wants his dad. He wants to be near me and spend time with me, whatever that looks like. So my 5-year-old son and his morning joy finds me the first person he wants to share his time with. Um, with that, I think as parents, our children fundamentally don't want stuff. Now, I'll be the first to admit my kids love getting things, Christmas, all those things, that materialism underlining that they have that we're working through, and so they love stuff. But that's not really what they want in their inner person. They want our time and attention as parents or family, and they feel it when we're on our phones or distracted. If I'm on my phone and we're watching a movie and Cal wants me to see it, he's like, "Dad, are you seeing this? Are you watching this?" And he misses my attention if I'm not paying attention. He understands that. And so, um, while they desire to be near us, they want us to be present with them. And as parents, I don't know that we, including myself, fully realize and lean into that truth enough. My child wants me, regardless of my faults, regardless of how many times I failed as a parent, regardless of whether I'm happy or sad. Our children's desire is to be near to us. And that alone should cause us to rejoice more frequently. Also, and then as a child of God, do we run to our Father in the morning? Is our first inclination as adults to look at our phone? That's um, or do we look to God, the creator of the universe, first thing in the morning? This is admittedly a hard thing for me, even with being woken up by Callum. But the first place I typically look is my phone. What time is it? Anything important I've missed? And I've never missed anything important. I'm not that important where people call me in the middle of the night to report something. I'm just not that important, but I think I am. ESPN needs to have me look at their website so I can check the scores from the night before, um, whatever it is. And um, just like that, we can have a tendency to be on with our day and never again think about the whole reason we woke up in the first place and the absolute gift it is that we have another day. And so I want to be more like Callum and, run to my father in the morning and spend time with him. The other thing is my wife recently disclosed that when Callum gets off the bus and I am not there to greet him, the first question she gets is Daddy home? If I'm not, he's sad. And he's sad not because I abandoned him. I'm working and I have a legitimate reason to not be there all the time. But he's sad because he wants to tell me about his day and he wants to be with me. Sometimes he wants to play chess. Sometimes he wants to play the Spider-Man video game and he wants me to help him level up so he can get a new suit for the game. Sometimes he wants to wrestle or do jujitsu with me. But he desires me at the end of the day. And again, it's such an unfathomable thing for me to imagine. I've done nothing to deserve grace and the love from Callum. Um, I was in a rehab facility when he was one. I was an active addict when he was born, and I wasn't sober till he was nearly two. But despite all those things, he still loves me and wants to be with me. So just, there's nothing crazy with any of that. I just wanted to share that with you, and I found it encouraging and something that I want to take and apply and lean into more in my life is to be like Callum. And I'm sure we all have a story like that, or a child, or a family, or a friend that just they wake up and they're just happy and ready to go. But that's not me, and so I have a feeling I'm not alone in that. So I thought I'd share that with you. I don't have a grand closing or fancy intro and outro yet. Got to have no music with that, so kind of boring. But I just want to offer a final word, and that's for the parents out there. Be present for your kids. They want you, not stuff. They want you, and they want your time and attention. For all of us, whether or not you're a parent, we can seek to be more like Callum and rise with gratitude in the morning and run to the Father immediately. Share our life with Him each and every day. The kingdom of heaven is at hand, and God is not far off up there. Trouble him with our concerns, our joys, our triumphs, and our trials, because as badly as we may want to be near him, he desires infinitely more to be near us. And finally, the most important person that you're going to meet today is the person that's right in front of you at any given time. Whether they look like you, whether they're part of your family, whether they're friends, whether you like them, doesn't matter. Being present for the person that's right in front of you is going to be your most important interaction every day. That moment. So live in the moment. Um, as I recently heard Father Andrew Stephen Damick say, that he heard from somebody, and I'll repeat it here because it had such a profound impact, is that people are not in the way, people are the way. So let that just kind of sink in. And then finally, just a quote from St. Cyprian of Carthage. Let nothing be taught to children except those which nourish the soul and make one a better person. And with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your week. I hope to talk to you all soon, and God bless.